Hi, everybody. This is a little game called Horror Movie. Even though it's called Horror Movie, you can use it any genre for fantasy, sci-fi, or whatever you like. Now I'm gonna have the thing read the rules to you, and then I'll explain more later.
Horror movie. You'll need 10 dice, paper, pen. On your character sheet you put your name, sex, hit points, and your good fight, saints, intelligence, wisdom, other, fear, hope. Lucky cards. You start with 100 hit points. Every time you take damage you roll 3d6. The number on the dice will be how much damage you take. If you get down to 0 you care to dies. You start with 10d6. You roll against the game or game master. Whoever is higher wins. If you tie you roll again. For fight you start with 10 points. If you get down to 0 you cannot fight. You can take a long rest to recover 2 points of fight. If you want a long rest is 8 hours when you're resting. Roy 1d6 to see how many times you can get erupted. You can also use pull points to fill in 1 point per hope. How to get hope. Every time you succeed you feeling a spot for hope. When you feel in sick you get 1 luck card. You can use luck cards to fill in 1 point, or if you fail you can flip a card over against the game master. If the card is higher than the game master you succeed on what you're trying to do within the reason. If your hope is full you get advantage on your roll, so that means you get to roll twice and you get to pick the higher number. Now how fear works. If you fail, roll you feeling a square of fear. If you feel up 6 squares you roll disadvantage. You take 1 sandy damage. How to get rid of fear is to take a long rest and eliminate all the fear. After a long rest you get 2 points to put anywhere on your character stats. For intelligence you start out with 10, same thing as fear, but you sound 0. You cannot do anything with intelligence. Wisdom you start with 10 just like fear. Intelligence and the same mechanical. Wisdom is different than intelligence. It's more that you know and you feel and you have life experience. The other one is other. You get 10 points uses for anything else during the game. Now if you lose all your sanity you carrier does not die. You use your other stat you fill in for your bad character. That's who you now. And remember I said you start with 10 dice. The point on fight, intelligence, wisdom, and other is your 10 dice. When you lose points on any of these stats you lose 1 die.
All right, now let's start here. Character sheet, you put in your name, then your sex, male or female. You start with 100 hit points, but if you think that's too many hit points, you can always make the game harder and put less hit points. And you start, if you want to be good. Then you got your fight. You start with 10. Remember, you start with 10 dice. Every time you lose a point, you lose a die. You in this game you use d6s, and then you got sanity. Now, if you lose this, that like you will not your character won't die. If you lose all these, you will switch over to your bad character, and I will explain that a little bit later. Then intelligence is like book smart and history, occult, stuff like that. That's your intelligence. Wisdom is street smarts, what you live through, what you know how people act in certain situations, and you just feel sometimes like you have a knowing because you've been through a lot in your life, and that's where your wisdom comes from. And then you got other. These will go for all the other roles. So let's say, oh, I want to drive a car. So you will use other for that. Oh, I want to pick a lock. That'd be other. So I hope that makes sense. And now fear. Now, every time you fail a roll, you fill in one of the squares. When you get 6 full, that means you get disadvantage on your rolls. So you take the lower of the rolls. You roll twice and you pick the lower of the rolls. The hope is pretty much the same. You fill in 6 squares. If you fill in 6 squares, you get advantage. Different than different advantage. You roll twice, but you pick the higher number. Now, for hope, though, you have something special with hope. You can give up one of your hope. If you have one filled in, say, I want to give this up to fill in one of your stats, you can. So that's a great thing about hope. Now, if you go over 6 hope, you fill in your luck card. Now, how luck card is if you fail, You can pull from your deck without looking. Just flip up a card in your deck, and then the Game Master, which we call Story Master in my games, but everybody knows what Game Master is. So flip a card over, and then the Story Master will flip a card over. If you're higher, you succeed. If you fail, if your card is lower, you fail. So it's not a guarantee win with a luck card. But what's cool about luck cards is you can give up when you luck cards without using it for battle or seeding or something. You can give it up for 1 point for any stats. You can do hit for any stats on your thing, intelligence, whatever. So that will help your character make it through. There is no death saving throws. If your character dies, it dies. But if you, like I said, if you lose sanity, then you'll go bad. So you'll have the same stats as your good character, but you're a bad character now. Now, what that means is, let's say you're playing a vampire game, and you're a vampire hunter. You're killing vampires, you're doing great things, saving the town. And then you hit 0 sanity. Now you went insane, and now you're helping the vampires getting to attack the town. And if you're playing with other players, you turn against your teammates as well, because you are now a bad character. Now, if you start the game as a bad character, it's the opposite. This could be fun. Let's say you're a goblin working for a dark lord, and you're trying to take a village and find the treasure. You find the treasure, but then you go to 0 sanity, right? Then you become a good character, and you try to help the village and hide the treasure from the person you were working for. I hope all this makes sense. It's a very simple mechanics and stuff. I just wanted to share with you because I know this would be fast to do. It would take a couple minutes to fill in because it's basically already filled in pretty much. Now, what I recommend, which you don't have to, is write how you look and your backstory to make it feel more into the role-playing game. All right, I hope y'all have a great day and keep on gaming.